The altar, she supposed, and on it was Hector.
Is the throne empty? Is the king dead? The empire unpossessed?
Off with his head.
You got me going in circles.
We'll get right into it. This is the Dirt podcast, and today we're going to talk about a game we tried to get going a long time ago that I think is still a good idea. Battle of the Gods. This is me, David Pursley, video game artist, cousin John,
video game player,
and Jordan's hanging out. He has anything to say.
Special guest, Jordan Miranda. Professional Miranda rights, sir.
So I always like to start from the beginning. How do you recall the idea first came up? Do you remember we were walking somewhere?
Yeah, we were walking to get...
John was living at my house again. We went over that in the previous podcast.
Yeah, still living there. We hopped the fence and we were going to Chopsticks.
Yeah, we were eating somewhere local and bullshitting. We used to bullshit about a bunch of video game stuff, and we used to kind of joke around about making an RTS that was... Because I was working at RTSs at the time, so that was all on my brain.
What were you working on at the time?
It might have been Generals.
Yeah, it was Command and Conquer Generals.
We were talking about, like, what if each of the factions were a religion? So there's, like, Catholic, blah, blah, Hindu, and then stuff like that. And then we started talking about what if fighting games were just the gods?
Because I think at the time Tekken was big. Mm-hmm. I forget which one. It was Tekken 3, but... And then Soul Calibur was also...
Yeah, Mortal Kombat had happened.
Yeah, it happened, and it was always been big. And so fighting games were big. I was into them at the time.
Yeah, we played them a lot, huh?
Yeah. I think part of our motivation, though, was to actually take gods and pit them against each other.
And not just any gods, but like the main deities, like the ones that represent the whole religion.
The contemporary gods, yeah.
Well, there's like God of War and stuff where they deal with gods.
Yeah.
But we wanted the main deities, like the top tier, fighting for the...
People are afraid of that.
Yeah, people were afraid of that.
Yeah, at the
that
time,
was the idea.
Yeah.
We got a lot of heat for like people thinking that could never happen. And ours didn't happen, but we'll bring up examples later where like actually people did make games.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
Basic idea.
Yeah.
So we're walking. We were talking about it. And then we went up and wrote up a list. Remember the first list?
Yeah.
We had some things that probably didn't like belong on there.
No.
We had like we really wanted Bloody Mary on there.
Yeah, Bloody Mary would have.
She was supposed to be like Satan's bride, and that was our like inside probably.
Yeah, I think we went with Western religion first. So it was God,
we had
Jesus,
God,
Moses.
Jesus. No, God, Jesus, Mary.
Yeah, Mary.
Moses isn't a deity.
He wasn't a deity, but I think at first we were pulling in like Bloody Mary, and we were just spitballing tons of ideas, so anything went. And
we had, but we were also, I think at the time we were doing Ganesh.
Yeah,
Buddha. And Buddha.
Allah.
Yeah, Allah.
Which was touchy.
That was a hard one. That was like the one where people were really kind of stepped back when we said it. But I was trying to figure out a way to do it intellectually. I don't know if
we did. We pulled it off. I think he had like a Muhammad Ali-esque feel with the floating gloves and the bandages on the elbow and the robe.
Yeah, he was invisible, so we weren't showing him, but he had a robe that was sort of Muslim.
Respectful.
Yeah, like
he was trying to be respectful.
Exactly. Respectfully,
we don't want death threats. Back at the time, they would have paged us a death threat. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, shit.
He was going to have all, like, Muhammad Ali attitude.
Yeah, that's right.
But we were going to make him, like, maybe a hidden character or unlockable character. Yeah. Or you can make him through the character creator, which you're responsible for that combination if you put it together.
Yeah, right. Remember the hidden character?
We had several hidden characters.
The original.
We had Santa.
Gandhi.
Gandhi was like
with the final character.
Yeah, well, the final character was going to be you fight Gandhi. Yeah. Because we couldn't have a god above all the gods. But one of the funny things was
he pulled guns out.
No, that was funny. Yes, he fought Gandhi with guns.
But he pulled them out of nowhere. Just like out of his ass, his Gandhi ass.
He was like his legs were folded and he was hovering. Yeah. Looking all Gandhi-like, and then pulls out guns from behind his back. Like
just
massive guns.
Big, massive, remember it was like a
mask, yeah.
Yeah. That was the whole thing with Gandhi, just a bunch of just Uzi shotgun all taped together.
Mm-hmm. And one thing people weren't getting was they were like, so Christian God's going to be the most powerful, right? And we're like, no, you can't have a game and plan out one of the characters going to be more powerful. Like, you have to let people fight it out and decide who's who's the winner, who's more powerful, you know?
Yeah, we're trying to market the game. Yeah,
Let's make a game and make ranks for all the characters already, and make sure nobody can beat the character above that one. That would be ridiculous.
I think that was the philosophy behind the game, was that all the gods were on equal fighting ground.
Yeah, we're letting the gods fight for themselves rather than through people. We had so many good slogans, but I lost them.
Yeah.
But yes, who else? We had Shiva.
Shiva, Ganesh, we already said, which was a bunch of arms on an elephant.
I think I wanted to eventually put in Hanuman, but he wasn't a top tier.
We had Zipitotec.
Oh yeah, Zipitotec was the Aztec god that they sacrificed all the people to. So he was fun because he was made out of a bunch of corpses.
Yeah, he was made out of the skins of his enemies or the bodies.
Yeah, the real Zipitotec, was the priest used to dress up as Zipitotec by wearing the skins of a sacrificed person.
Yeah,
and then he had all these
he was
adornments.
Giant, so he had a bunch of just.
So this one was like, it was like thousands of bodies, sacrificed bodies,
just like hooker eyelids, things like that,
with all their hearts ripped out. And then he had a. What are the temples called? He had a temple coming out of his chest.
That's right. That just rolled heads out.
Yeah. And he had piercings. He had rings that were piercing him, and then bodies were hanging on the rings as well.
Yeah.
For adornments.
Which I haven't seen in a lot of video games.
Nah.
That whole.
And I would have loved to seen that with secondary motion movement on the bodies swinging around.
Or if one gets pulled off and.
We're gonna have a body fall off every now and then as he's fighting.
Yeah, that's right. When he punches you, like just bodies fly and stuff.
He can just grab a handful and throw them at you.
He was a fun god. That was, I believe, Oscar's.
I think idea. Oscar brought that up. Our buddy Oscar, he was a game artist as well.
And I actually battled against him because I wasn't at first down with obscure gods, you know. So I just thought, let's put out the simplest of what everybody knows, and so that was one of the early debates on what gods, but Zipitotec was too cool to say no.
Well, another one of my favorites was Yi, which was the Aboriginal goddess of creation, and which had a really cool story. Yi, everywhere she goes, when she swims, fish come out. When she flies, birds come out. When she runs, rodents and animals come out. So that's just how she lives. That's what she does. She doesn't purposefully create anything. It's just what happens when she exists. So she lands on Earth, she plays for a while, and then she just leaves, and then that started Earth, which is really cool.
Sneezes and bunnies come out.
Exactly.
You're taking a dump, and a bear comes out, and the bear has a bunny coming out of his butt, and it's just like this, like turducken of
chickens and eggs. And she was made out of the night sky, so that was really fun to concept.
Yeah, that sounded like a dope.
And there's no video game character like that, or like what you're saying, the Zipitotec. We had hidden characters that we wanted to put in, like Santa Claus, and but we had a bunch of characters. I don't remember what they all were.
I remember God had two costumes. One was a white god and one was a black god.
Yeah, because people make God to look like themselves. So we had white God and black God.
And then you get some Shaft VO with the black god. He's all, God, you're a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
So you had God with dreadlocks, white dreadlocks, and
we had a lot of fun with
colorful outfit, and then we had a
sexy.
All of them had. We had like what they traditionally looked at like as the first costume. The second costume was like fun for us, playful. Yeah. So Jesus was typical Jesus, and then we had Bruce Lee Jesus. Because every fighting game has to have a Bruce Lee. Yeah. It's got to be Jesus.
That was his fighting style too.
His fighting style was Jeet Kune Do, and he had the yellow and black outfit.
Yeah, he had the traditional Kill Bill status, yellow and black outfit. That was awesome. What gods hit the cutting room floor? I remember Loki we were tossing.
Oh yeah, well, we had Odin.
Yeah,
we had to part with someone we got emotionally attached to.
Yeah.
But we were trying to stick to the top tier. Oh yeah, and then we had Egyptian gods. We had
Ra,
and
with the big dog head. Wait, was
Anubis.
Anubis, there it is.
And
said Isis.
Isis. Yeah, we had Isis. That was the girl
Did
one.
We?
Yeah, we had Isis. Yeah.
Huh.
I drew an Isis. We had Aphrodite. We had.
Aphrodite. That was a good one.
And Zeus.
Zeus. Yeah, we went classic. Mm-hmm. And then the levels.
Oh, and John Frum.
I don't remember that.
So, John Frum is a cargo cult, and I don't know if we ever concepted this. Maybe it was going to be a hidden character.
Yeah.
But John Frum is a cargo cult. There's an island where soldiers stopped once, And from that point on, they thought that soldiers were deities, and they had one in particular named John Frum. And every year, this tribe has a parade where they dress up like sailors, and the sailors are supposed to come back and bring them treasures and cargo.
Oh.
So, and they do that forever. Like they're still waiting for John Frum, like people are waiting for Jesus.
Huh. John Frum, and he
John
was just
Frum.
some guy who was like,
Just a
I'm
dude.
John from,
Yeah, John
and they're like, John
from California.
I'm John from, right? You guys know. Like right around the corner. Like he just hiked around. Yeah. But they were like, they couldn't go over there because it was against their religion. You know?
Like, it's funny because they don't have guns, but they'll carve sticks to look like guns.
Oh, that's awesome. The guy with the 9mm was just like, it was a head bonking thing. It was like, bonk.
Yeah.
When he got close.
And they go pew pew.
Pew. Pew. Right, Jordan? Pew. I'm thinking of the levels. The levels on the game.
The levels are fun. So yeah, of course, like
Who had the world level? It was just the world.
the whole world. Yeah.
And
God. I think God. The world was his.
The ground.
Yeah.
I mean, it
the
was
whole Earth
like
was
a
his
globe.
Yeah. They fought on top of a globe.
Yeah.
As giants and smashing cities when they stepped.
Yeah. And then we had alternate levels too because we were trying to do Hell Frozen Over. Remember we had
Hell Frozen Over.
for the devil meat curtains. It was just meat. Everything was made out of meat and blood
and pulsing and bleeding.
And then it Frozen Over was
And we had the underworld.
Yeah, that's right.
Anubis. That one was fun. Everything was upside down and like
Buddha fought under the Bodhi tree.
Yeah, Buddha became Buddha under a Bodhi tree in the desert. Yeah. So we had this floating tree, and then there was a hole in the center of the tree where there's a child meditating, which is Buddha when he was a child.
Wow.
And then so we kind of had to make it look ethereal.
Yeah.
And the clouds were all colorful. That one was a cool one. That would have been fun.
But one of my favorites was Jesus on the lagoon because the whole time his level you're walking on water.
Yeah, Jesus fights on the lagoon where he walked on the water.
And then there was
you gotta have like fish underneath. Oh, and
on the cliffs with the 3 skulls of Golgotha. And
we had a Golgotha. Yeah, the Golgotha doesn't mean that means like skull or something.
Yeah.
There was
evidently.
We had like an underwater level, but there was also we had parting of the Red Sea.
Oh yeah, that was.
So you had the walls of the Red Sea on each side.
Right. You had them on. And
you see like a whale come by.
Interactive. So if you punch somebody into they would actually go into the water or halfway in the water and get stuck for a second and pause you, so you can finish a combo off.
And we had every god, if he was fighting on his home court, had one extra move on their own home court.
Oh.
So, I think that would have
You're
been
a
fun.
bad mother. Shut your mouth.
So I guess we'll go through Mencia fast because we have more things to get to.
Oh, okay. So when we were seeking
we were
investment,
looking for funding and investment. We were putting out letters,
emails.
This was in emails, yeah. Before
we emailed Oprah.
We tried to email South Park Studios.
Yeah, Matt and Trey.
But we
did though.
But we did, and we emailed Mencia. This was before Mencia was known for stealing. This is before we did
Menstelius, they call him.
This is before we had the Rogan confrontation, and we didn't even know he wasn't Mexican yet. No. And he had his TV show. And,
what was the name of the show?
Mind of Mencia.
Mind of Mencia.
And we sent in
the whole idea,
the whole concept. Idea, and we asked. He said he can use it, but we just would like to be mentioned, or if we wanted, I don't know.
If we can get a free plug or something.
We're looking for a plug. And
no credit.
They actually, everything we wrote down, all the characters, they had them fighting in a ring, though.
They had them in a ring, and the whole show was that.
Things they were saying was stuff that we wrote down as quotes from the god. It was so close.
Yeah,
we just like sunk when we saw it. And then when the Rogan stuff came out, and that made sense to us.
The end of it. Remember what the whole punchline of the show was, which just made it a flop, was that, and who comes out of nowhere? It's Allah, and an invisible person gets to beat him up, so they don't even have to pay an actor.
Yeah.
Because they're just pretending to get hit, and he goes, well, it's disrespectful to show a rendition. I think it's something he learned, obviously, just from looking at the game, which is fine. We learned it from going through the game, but.
Yeah.
So he decided to spout a little bit of knowledge, no rendition, keeping it respectful, and Allah wins. I don't know if that was even a punchline. That's more of just should have been just a small factoid that you help educate the world with.
Yeah.
But that being said,
so that it happened. It was like validation for us that it wasn't like a terrible idea and something that couldn't be done.
absolutely.
So, but that was kind of what we had to take from it. If you have good ideas, you're gonna get stolen from at some point. But that all made sense. And then I think we were possibly one of the first or the first video game to ever try to get a Kickstarter going. But the problem was I worked at a studio and I couldn't really advertise it with my name and my artwork on it. So it sort of killed my ability to spread the word. But we did get
Give yourself a plug. What was the name?
what, Battle of the Gods?
No, what was the name of the company? Do you want to say it on there?
Oh, we had a few.
Steel Toe Productions.
Steel Toe Productions.
Wow.
At first we were classified. Our first one was Classified Productions.
Yeah, Classified Productions.
Because we didn't have a name yet.
Yeah, we were
Then it was Steel
classified.
Toe.
Working Title Productions, which I
Yeah.
think exists now.
We got a big following on MySpace. We had articles written about us. Like we didn't get on like Game of Sutra. The biggest ones are Kotaku.
Yeah.
But we got on a bunch of small ones that loved the idea. I don't think we got any bad press.
No, none at all.
Everyone
that was what was odd. We
was
thought
curious. We thought, we were kind of looking for bad press.
no press. Is bad press.
Yeah, but we had a bunch of people that would just wanted to see the idea, and we sent out press kits and
Going
we
backstage in different bands that wanted to
Yeah.
play on the.
oh yeah, we had a bunch of bands. We had Combi Christ.
These guys are.
Mindless Self Indulgence was talking about helping out.
Let's talk about a backstage story.
We used the game to get backstage at a Combi Christ concert. We were big fans.
Yeah.
And he was down for like he wanted to do a video game soundtrack, and since then he has done video game soundtracks. But
Yeah.
we were there talking to him about it backstage.
And so I go, dude, I thought it'd be people like back here doing blow and getting blown. And he's all, oh, you want that? And I'm like, hell yeah. So then he calls his girlfriend, I forget her name, and he's like, honey, can you come blow this guy? And she goes, fuck you. And that was it. That was the whole.
Yeah, it wasn't actually crazy at all backstage. It was like chill.
Yeah, they were
And
like
then-
getting ready for a concert. I don't want to spend my energy.
And then but there's other rock stars back there too. It was KMFDM was back there,
No.
and some other and some of the other acts that were playing. But
And
yeah,
fucking killed it.
John was like John was asking for
I want to see some Jim Morrison shit, you
he
know?
was, he was a little disappointed.
But that's all right.
But we got backstage at several concerts using video games as like in Battle of the Gods as a way to like to try to talk to the musicians, because back then it was rare to get in a game. It wasn't, EA just started doing it on a wider scale, and everybody wanted to be in. They didn't even want to be paid; they just wanted to be on it. Combi Crest loved the idea.
Shout out, Comic Christ.
We got a big following on MySpace, but then MySpace died,
Yeah.
which is a bummer. We had a Wikipedia page, and that was really fun because
I would get us kicked off.
well, all the articles we had let us get on Wikipedia. It validated us, and people were People hate. We had a bunch of people that were trying to change our page every single day, like 100 times a day.
They liked the ideas that they had.
Well, we had people that hated it and liked it, but we had a big group of people that were changing it back and people that were changing it away. So like somebody constantly kept trying to put Gary Coleman and things in there. Like, awesome. and they were trying to take out the gods they didn't want in there. But since then though, like I think at some point there was some Flash games that came out with gods. It wasn't exactly ours, but it was like simple. We wanted to spend more time and make.
They did have Moses too.
Yeah,
They
had
kept
Moses.
it just completely gone.
There was Bible Fighter, was just Bible characters,
Yeah.
and then there was Faith Fighter, which had a few gods from different pantheons.
Yeah.
And then, but now like if you look up, it used to be that if you look up Battle of the Gods, we were just all over the internet.
Yeah.
But now like Dragon Ball Z had some cartoon or game called Battle of the Gods.
Yeah.
And that kind of took over the search engine. There was a game called Ankh, Battle of the Gods. I don't know much about that one. And then, but there's a slot machine with gods fighting in the slot machine.
Yeah.
That's called Battle of the Gods,
Oh wow.
and that seems to be doing well, I guess.
Oh man.
I think that's actually in casinos as like a digital slot machine.
Oh nice.
And then there's a game that's actually out now that's the closest to our idea, called Fight of Gods. And I actually talked to them a little. I think they're in like Ukraine or something. And they said they had an investor and they spent he was so into the idea, he spent the last of their money from a rich guy to develop this game, and they got it released on Steam. We had so many people telling us that this game could never be made, could never be released, that nobody would handle it, and it's on Steam. These have been on the internet.
Yeah.
And then, but probably the most the biggest one right now that's is Smite. It's like Dota, but they use a bunch of gods from pantheons. But they're not all the top gods. They don't have like God, but they have a few like under gods, like demigods.
Gods.
Yeah, stupid gods, pussy gods.
Some pussy gods. You know, God, cowboy, gun-toting God.
God's assistants fighting.
They're not Republican God.
And remember, we had training mode was like if you get the moves right, you're getting followers. But you have all these tiny people worshiping you while you're learning the moves.
Oh yeah, and then you smash them when you're by accident. Of
course,
people. That's awesome. It was a great project. I loved being on it. Yeah. But then we all kind of went to stuff that made us money at the same time. And let that take over. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We tried to do an Unreal tournament to raise money for it. It was like a $10,000, $15,000. It might have been more. I don't even remember. But reward. But I thought, we were a bunch of developers. We can get this going. We couldn't get the bugs out. Like the gods would blow up to like 10 stories tall when they weren't supposed to. But we got some detailed 3D models out of Anubis. We made some little cinematics with them that were kind of weren't fully finished with effects. How do we end this?
Say, well, thank you for listening to our podcast. Again, this is John the Playa, Dave the
David
Maker,
Pursley.
and we got Jordy, the Mirandan right professional.
You can hear him listening in the background. Say hi, Jordan.
Hi, Jordan.
All right, we'll catch you guys later with more war stories from the game industry.
The altar, she supposed, and on it was Hector.
Is the throne empty? Is the king dead? The empire unpossessed?
Off with his head.
You got me going in circles.